Hey everyone, the name's Eric Thor, and I wanted to make a video about the 4 different subtypes of the ENFP. And I wanted to make this video because I feel that so often we focus too much on one kind of ENFP, a very stereotyped form of ENFP, and we don't focus on the many different variations of ENFPs that exist. Yes, the ENFP description ideally captures who you are at your best. But often our environment forces us to be in other kinds of ways, and sometimes we come to develop a little differently than the norm. And these changes aren't uncommon. We all tend to switch back and forth between these subtypes. So you'll find as an ENFP that you should be able to relate to sometimes being in all kinds of these forms from time to time. The ENFP subtypes are in order. First of all, the detective, the seer, the interrogator, the sheriff. Starting with the detective, the natural subtype for an ENFP, it reflects an ENFP who is in full control, in trueness to themselves, expressing themselves creatively. They are detectives. They are always eternally curious about the world and its mysteries. What is behind that door? Where does this lead? Why did he do that signal with his arms? What does these patterns that I'm observing mean? How can I combine and use these patterns to build puzzles or to create new ideas? This is the gift of brainstorming and where it naturally comes from. So all types have their form of creativity. This is the ENFP's key creativity, putting pieces together, going from a point to another point, to another point, to another point, thinking quickly about patterns as they happen. But secondly, the second subtype for an ENFP is the seer. And we don't always speak about the seer, and we should, because the seer is so often mistyped as INFP or INFJ. The seer is an ENFP with great inner depth, as the seer is an introverted feeling ENFP, an ENFP who has temporarily neglected their extroverted intuitive side somewhat, dripping somewhat more into introverted sensing. These are the true judges of character. They are the people who greatly excel at reading people's inner hidden sides. Going inside themselves and synthesizing their experiences with other people, they are able to judge your character and to understand who you really are, if you're telling the truth or not, and what you are meant to be to them. This subtype is a lot of the time the healer subtype, the subtype of an artist or somebody who with often great artistical, musical or literary skill. This is an ENFP who feels a strong urge to help people, to be there for people, to do something towards the growth of another person. They often work, rather than with grand issues such as politics, directly with one person that they can see, touch, and feel committed to. Thirdly, the ENFP can fall into the third subtype, the interrogator. And I mean to say this is purely an interrogator subtype, but I want to, with this word, convey that this is the ENFP who, instead of reading another person, asks, did you or did you not visit that place at that time? Did you or did you not do the dishes? What I mean with these examples is this ENFP is greatly excelling at being able to use facts and objectivity to understand the world around them and the power dynamics going on around them. They know why you act the way you do. They see and they pay close attention. They are highly perceptive types who are often very athletic, often engaged in some kind of physical workout routine. They are often in sports. They are often champions. They are often very assertive, very challenging. They are often very pushy. They have a strong force of will because they are still connected to their extrovert intuition, but they often lack that inner feeling They often run away kind of from their inner selves. They are often so busy, so focused with work, with all kinds of stuff, that they can never take the time to think about their own inner depth. And what happens when they lose even the extrovert intuition? That's what takes us into subtype 4, the ENFP Gone Bad. The ENFP Gone Bad is a lot like a sheriff. Falling into this architect function of introverted sensing, they become very stuck, very obsessive about how the world should work and how people should be. Using extroverted thinking, they become very assertive and very pushy about this worldview of their own. Because they lack this passion of introverted feeling and this self-awareness of extrovert intuition. These types often lack clarity when acting out this compass and acting out this worldview. They are often very traditional types and very aristocratic types with extremely strong standards on other people. Through this is an ENFP gone bad, and it's an ENFP gone bad because it, unlike, for example, ISTJs, which this type can resemble, this is an ISTJ who's unhappy and who's struggling with some emotional issue. These ISTJs are often very, ENFPs actually, are often very, very stuck, if that's the word for it. They're struggling, they've struggled with some negative experience and it's weighing down on them. They keep reliving something bad that's happened to them over and over. But it can still be a hard thing to get out of. We can all fall into these subtypes. Some of the time we can fall into the ISFP or INFJ subtype. Sometimes you could fall into the ENTJ subtype, the Interrogator. And sometimes you may fall even down into the ISTJ. And that's okay. We are all growing, we're all changing, we're all learning about ourselves, and sometimes things go bad. It happens. But when it does, try to find your way back. Try to remember who you are and what makes you happy and what makes you passionate. That's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching this video.